the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. That's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. It is a off-season purgatory free-for-all Friday edition of the Always Irish Show. What do you mean, the? Oh, man. Dude, it's sometimes I look at that intro and I don't even know what I was yelling at. Some of them I know, some of them I have no idea what I was even yelling at. All I know is if I yelled it, I meant it. That's all I know. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. I got good news for you. I'm starting to feel a little better. I can breathe a little bit, and I blow my nose a few less times for a better production here. Thanks for being here. Happy Friday. Always Annoyed is back. I just, we'll get to it in a couple minutes. Have a little fun on a Friday. It had to come back. I've been pushed too far. It had to come back. Son of a buck. Swan dog. I want to hear John yell. We'll stick around for about 10 minutes. Welcome in. Welcome back. I love doing this show. Welcome in, everybody. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Mark with glasses, I think you got what I had, man. You're going to have it for about 3 weeks, and you're just going to feel terrible. You're just going to be dragging. You're going to have no will to do anything. Everything's going to annoy you. Welcome to the club, buddy. Welcome to the club. Oh, man. Yeah, I was thinking about Always Annoyed needing to be a Friday thing. Crying Belly, he's going to complain about pickles or some lame crap. Well, then go watch another morning show. Not complain about anything and just sit there and go, I think that the football team, something's going to happen. And then something else is going to happen. And I am going to talk to you about the news in a monotone voice. And you are going to sit there and like it and appreciate my content. I don't live that way. A brother branches out, tries to have a little fun. I'm already taking shade from my own people, crying. Angela, good to see ya. Happy Friday, decorating the house for Hank's Notre Dame football birthday party this weekend. The only thing missing is a mascot leprechaun to show up and hand out gold coins to the kiddies. We're off to the races today, aren't we? We're off to the races today. Jay Lehman, the nicest guy on the internet, is somewhere tropical. I saw the pictures on Twitter, and man, it looks tropical where you're at, Jay. And I always say, it means the world to me when somebody goes on freaking vacation and makes an effort to watch me. What is wrong with you people? Like, if ever there was a time to get out of your routine. Jay, you're freaking me out. You might have just nailed it. It's very rarely am I speechless. Jay Lehman may have just guessed what the Always Annoyed is, and I'm a little freaked out. I got to be honest, I'm a little freaked out. Wow. Jay, that is really scary stuff because ding, 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 ding. Callers. We're going to get to you. I got a couple of them. I may even do that and get the callers. And we have less callers now. We don't have no 50-person waiting call log in the offseason. So I might let these fine individuals have their piece, and then we'll get into the Always Annoyed and the other stuff. So thanks for being here. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish. Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysIrishMD@gmail.com. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it. Don't want to see my face. Nobody blames you for that. Call in lines 312-988-15. Dialed up. Tell Uncle Johnny, oh, you've heard and seen Notre Dame Fighting Irish, brought to you by SI. I write a bunch of articles, man. It's year round, baby. There's always some Notre Dame, something rolling around in my brain. Homer TD, Tony, it's good to see you. It's good to see you here. It'll be better to see you in person in a handful of weeks. Tom Frawley, Chicago's very own, live from Florida. Good for you. Good for you, Tom, in the Fort Lauderdale area, enjoying life. Good for you, man. You deserve it. If there's anybody in Notre Dame land that deserves a good, fun break from everything, it is Chicago's very own Tom Frawley. God bless him. And I was talking to him yesterday offline. I totally get it, man. You get to Florida, you breathe in that ocean air, you get out of the Illinois for a while. It's just good for you to change the scenery and enjoy some warmer weather. Good for Tom, man. You deserve it, brother. You were riding the rails hard. You were riding the rails hard all season, Tom. You deserve it, man. I'm glad for you. You're in Florida. I am blown away that Jay Lehman nailed the always and no. The odds. There's a million things I could be mad at any given time, any day. Jay Lehman's on vacation and types in the exact topic. I'm almost kind of mad. He blew my surprise. Oh, man. Patreon.com/always Irish. He the former captain. He the leading tackler. It's Mike Goolsby and myself breaking it all down. We got a tight window today. Him and I are going to break down the press conferences from the the introductory press conferences from the new assistants. So him and I are going to do that 10:30 or so. We're going to flip over to Patreon. We're going to record some content there. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Content all the time. Off season, in the season, in between the season, purgatory, blue and gold, summer, whatever it is, we're going to have something for you. We're going to text ND. You're going to get me in trouble. Do not think that is not on the list, but I'll probably get in trouble if I yell about it. It's one of the top things on the list, Tex ND, but it'll just go bad if I go as hard on that topic as I want to. It isn't going to be good for me, and I got to always weigh that. But you're right on it. You're right on it. First and foremost, callers, I'm coming to you. I'm not going to make you wait. I'll do the always annoyed after. I want to let you guys get on with your day. So first things first is, listen, I may be overdoing this. I probably am overdoing this and overvaluing this. I love that Notre Dame got voted the best place to work in America. And I understand that is not football specific. It's not athletic specific. It's the overall institution. I love it. Whatever that was, I loved seeing that our people feel so valued and appreciated and welcomed in Notre Dame and everybody's happy, like whatever. To be voted the best place to work in America matters. And so I may be overvaluing that, and I'm biased because I think Notre Dame's a special place full of special people with special values. I am mentioning it again because I just think it's awesome that they got voted that. Yeah, the tuna lady on the plane. And you know what else? I'm not even really going to blame her. She looked like she was 163 years old. And like when she was growing up, I think catching a tuna out of the water and eating it was all they had it for food in America or something. I don't want to blame her that much because she was seriously 100 years old. Oh, now that you're sitting by John on the plane, that's the time, lady. Oh, now that we're on the plane, I better open up my tuna. What? What, are you crazy? I couldn't believe it. The whole plane, it smelled like you flew the plane into a sewer. Oh, now that we're seated and I'm all buckled up, I gotta eat my tuna. What? How can anybody think that's okay? Even if you're a citizen that's a senior. Man, we're off to the races today. This is the offseason, baby. Back to Notre Dame. People and values are why Notre Dame got voted the best place to work in America. And Lou is right. If you understand it, no explanations necessary. And if you don't understand it, none will suffice. You're never going to get it. And I'm not trying to be a gatekeeper to the Notre Dame thing, but on an existential internal level, this either hits you or it don't. And it's hard to grow into it. Some people could grow into it, but it either hits you or it don't. So the people and the values are what made Notre Dame win this award. And it isn't just the people there now. It's all the people before that built the morals and the values and kept it going and all that before. It isn't just about now. It's about those that came before too. Okay. So that's how I see it. That's how I see it. The coordinator spoke. Let me do that real quick, and then I got a few callers. I want to hear what you think. Then we'll do Always Annoyed, and we'll see what our time's like. A couple super chats. I'm going to do those too. The coordinator spoke. The biggest takeaway to me from the whole thing is it was in the beginning of it, Ash saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is that not about as much as you could ask for from this guy? Is that not just like the most you could ask for with Chris Ash and all the questions surrounding Ash and the red flags on that resume, like the Rutgers era, for instance? Isn't that the best you could ask for the guy to be like, I just don't. Yeah, multiple people are saying the running backs coach seems much more like a Notre Dame type Notre Dame fit. And I understand why you're saying that based on how this all like went. I totally get that. I do get it. But I think that the best thing that Ash could have done, he did, and be like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's just like that do no harm mantra, right? Like just do no harm. A lot of people are telling me they think we have the athletes that defense is going to just kind of like operate itself. I want to see not what he says, but practically on the field in some critical situations, how he handles blitz. I want to know what his risk, like tolerance for risk is. And when it comes to bringing pressure compared to what Golden was, that I think is one of the most interesting parts to me, just to see that philosophy, how risk averse or open to risk he is, sending everybody doing some of the stuff Uncle Al did. Callers, I'm coming to you. I'm going to get to you early. But to me, that was the biggest thing. Johnny, Notre Dame to the Big Ten, starting to gain traction. A couple people have mentioned they saw some articles about that. If there is, I'll say it again. If there is ever a day where I wake up and have a million texts or open up Twitter or whatever, and see Ash seems very vanilla. You're right about that. If there's ever, this has been my opinion for a long time in the modern era. If I wake up someday and have a million texts of people saying we joined the Big Ten, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like all arrows, like when I just think about this in my head, all arrows point to Notre Dame in the Big Ten. Like the playoff arrows, the way the conferences are being built, the power dynamics with the Big Two, the ACC being on shaky ground, even though it seems like they found a little stability recently, but there's still shaky ground there. Like all the external arrows point Notre Dame down to the Big Ten. So I don't know, man. You kind of proved that you can make the current playoff format work as an independent because you just made it to the championship game. And it was ugly for a while, but you didn't get blown out, or it wasn't 2012 Alabama Notre Dame where you just like didn't belong. So like, I don't know, but if I wake up someday and I see the news that we're joining the Big Ten, it will not be a surprise to me because for a long time, all the roadmaps and all the arrows are funneling Notre Dame that direction. But I will say, as far as proof of concept of being an independent and making it work for you, Notre Dame just proved you could do it. Played good in the postseason, made a run. You showed you could do it. I'm sitting there going, I don't know, man, 4 games. How you going to make it top 12 teams? We haven't won a major bowl game in 30 years or whatever. Bam, 1, 2, 3. And all 3 of them had a unique flavor that was enjoyable and wore us all out and stressed us into the ground. But here we are. Callers, I'm coming to you. A little bit of other news, then we'll get to the calls and the super chats. And then Always Annoyed. I'm being goofy today. It's first day in a long time I've had any energy in like 3 weeks that I've had any energy to get out of bed or do anything. So forgive me. I'm being a little goofy. I'm being a little goofy. Ryan Rawl, we were about 6 injuries away from winning a natty. You guys are in my brain. I got an item on that on my list. You guys are smart. You guys are smart. Also, Notre Dame is losing director of recruiting Caleb Davis to San Diego State's general managing position. You guys got to tell me. You got to, yeah, Willie, it's good. It's good. I'm wired. I got to tell you, man, is this guy really 25 freaking years old? What do you like? Is this direct? Tell me if I'm. I said I'm feeling much better, not perfect. The White Sox finally found a game. Oh, man, I can't wait. Cool. Yeah, all right. Hey, John, are you going to go to a bunch of White Sox games this year? I'll pull out a Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys there. Psych your mind. Not giving him $1 till that team is sold, and I'm not going to another game until that team is sold. I'm not doing it. The only thing they're good for is for me to bet $100 against them 162 times and get rich. Son of a buck. So Caleb Davis is going to San Diego State as the general manager there. Am I reading this right that the guy is 25 years old? 25 years old? Look at me yelling in my basement at 40. What a loser. 25? This kid's 25. He's the general manager. The guy can barely even get a rental car. Jesus, you want to feel like you accomplished nothing in your life? This guy's a general manager of a college football team at 25. I mean, son of a buck, what am I doing wrong? I'm in a basement yelling at 40 about an old lady's tuna, so to speak. What is going on? What is going on here? What is the deal? Tom, get out there in the sunshine, baby. Get out there in the sunshine. Drink yourself a mimosa on the beach, baby. That's what you need to do. Tom Frawley's a real one, man. Tom Frawley's I love that man so much. He's a special person, man. I love Tom. So here's the deal. This guy's 25 and now he's going to be the GM. Of course I've seen Home Alone. Home Alone 1 and 2 are like the 2 movies I've seen in my life. And the immature Adam Sandler ones. Like, I'm bad with movies. You guys know I can't keep up with anything with some complicated intergalactic plot where we're in the future and then we're in the past and then we're in the now. And you got to figure out, man, I don't watch a movie to have to use my brain to figure out what galaxy I'm in. Time travel, all this stuff. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Telling you, that scene where Marv gets electrocuted in Home Alone 2 it's one of my favorite. I don't care if it's Christmas or not. Marv getting electrocuted is one of my favorite cinematic moments of my entire life. Literally, there's something about his scream and the beard and his hair and the skeleton. It's just perfect. Always Irish Basement voted the best place to work. Yeah, by who? Me? Nobody cares about that vote. Oh. Anyways, so you're losing this guy at 25 years old to go be a GM. You can't blame a guy for going to be a GM. It's clearly, and even though it's San Diego State, it's still, if you're 25 and you're a GM, I mean, what a great compliment to that guy. Good for him, man. Like, good for him. That's fantastic. What does it mean for Notre Dame's recruiting? Does anybody know what's going on with Notre Dame's recruiting? I'm waiting to hear this new GM's philosophy and how this is going to go and fill out all those roles and get everybody in the mix. And then I want to see if there's any different approaches with Notre Dame's recruiting. I don't know if there's going to be or not. But congratulations to that kid, 25 years old, and look what he's accomplished. And my hair falls out and I yell about stuff in my basement at 40. Good for this dude. Good for this dude. All right, couple super chats, and then we'll go right to the calls, and then we'll do Always Annoyed and see what our time's like. Callers, I'm coming to you. Andrew Gilmore, in my opinion, if a real QB competition breaks out in spring and continues into the fall, it's bad news. It would likely mean Carr isn't ready. Carr's the number 1 draft pick. I'm excited to see him play. I look at it the same way. Pat was pushing back on that, Andrew, on Wednesday. I said, I think what's best for the program is one of the younger guys, Carr Minchie, jumps out in the lead. Their talent's undeniable, and you're just willing to roll with the rookie mistakes, but the talent's there. Hitch your wagon to that guy. Off we go into a new era of Notre Dame quarterbacking in the modern times. I think that's what would be best for the program. And I'm like, Andrew, if neither one of those younger guys step up and take that job, I just think that's a red flag of like, they're not ready. And then like the default setting of safety is Angeli. But like, that seems like the safer, lower ceiling, higher floor option. I just think it'd be best for the program if a younger guy claimed this job. It's not a rip on Angeli. I'm just telling you. I'm surprised by how many Angeli supporters there are on the message boards. People are, it may be more of a Notre Dame thing than at other places, but for some reason, man, those homegrown Notre Dame-y feeling, looking, acting quarterbacks, people have an affinity for it, and they're loyal, and they stay in the program, and they're good kids, and all that stuff you love. And I think that garners them a lot of appreciation from the Notre Dame fan base. I think it's something to do with like Notre Dame life and the community and everything. It's just, it feels like people are loyal to those quarterbacks that are Notre Dame and they're in-house and they stick to it. I don't know what else to say. On Minchie, until proven otherwise, he's a Goolsby invention. I'm not even sure if he's in the conversation. I'm not anti-Minchie. I just listened to the reporters. Goolsby's been saying for a while now, he feels like it's incumbent on Minchie to force himself into this discussion. Be a little more animated with your personality of like leader, trying to be a leader or like emerging, standing out somehow to be in the mix. And so that it's interesting coming from Goolsby. Pray for my dad, John. ND grad, class of 60, passed away last week. Funeral was yesterday. The only song he wanted played was the alma mater. Man, God bless your father. Look at this. He loved your show, and as I do, you look like a young version of him. Well, good for him. He probably carried it better than I do. God bless him, and we'll get a candle lit at the grotto, my friend. A lot of my listeners have lost their dads recently. Pigskin Pete, my personal friend that does the Clemson YouTube stuff, he just buried his dad at Arlington Cemetery. I talked to him last night about that. Like, I don't know, man. God bless you guys. And we'll get a candle lit. We will definitely do that. Tex ND, regards to DC and running back pressers. I liked the running back coach better in DC. I prefer when newbies talk about how special of a place ND is, and I didn't get that from Ash. A few people have said that. A few people have commented, it looks like Ash is a placeholder. I gathered that from the press conference. I think that's interesting too. Look at Mark with glasses here. He's high on Advil, cold and sinus, people. I'm still not over it. So I got to thinking, technically, Ohio State had to come from behind to beat us in the championship game. We were winning and just couldn't hang on. Trust me, Mark. Don't think in my pathetic sadness and miserable existence of Notre Dame-dom, do not think that there was not a moment where we were winning that game 7-0 that I said to myself, Notre Dame is winning the championship game. What a moment. What a moment. I really did feel it, and I meant it. Angeli's lower ceiling and bad pocket presence in the Penn State game concerns me. They need to build around Carr. On the flip side, Angeli came in, sparked you, brought you down the field, got you on the board before you went into after. You couldn't do diddly-poo, Rudy-poo on offense. And at least he brought you down, got you on the board. I give him credit for that. Jay Lehman, St. Vincent, man, the pictures look tropical. Ooh, baby, it looks nice where he's at. Caden, the man. Oh, man, that man got paid, son. TGIF. Me and the Ohio podcast were partying last night. Let's go. God bless you, Eric, over at the Ohio pod. $5 holler from my homeboy, Craig. John, you should interview Chris Everett before the Purdue game. The show numbers will be off the hook. Let's get it. Craig, it's good to see you, man. I usually don't see you on the morning shows. It's really, really good to see you. Caden the man, $2 holla. Ooh, that allowance is coming in hot, baby. Oh, Ohio, go Buckeyes. I don't know. I'm going to be nice. I just, we got our words weird here in the sentence, but I thank you for the $2. The Gene Ackman thing, does that not come off to you like what is it, carbon monoxide or something? It was the wife, him, and one of the dogs. And it looked like both of the humans were like walking around and then fell out. His glasses were by him. She had some stuff on the floor. It was like it overcame them and they fell out. And the fact that there was a dog, and if there's no violence on the dog, doesn't that tell you it's like carbon monoxide or something they were breathing in? It's just no gas detected. Something happened in there. Yeah, but I thought the pills was her falling and then the pills fell out. And then he fell in another room with his glasses. I don't know. But I thought that the pill thing was she was like taking him and fell out. But then he fell. It comes off to me like no gas detected. You know why? Because it was the dead dog was locked in a closet. I don't know, man. You gotta be a investigator to figure this out. All right, I gotta blow my nose. And then we'll go to the calls, and then we'll wrap up with an Always Annoyed. And I got another segment about the program and where it's at overall. Depending on the time, maybe I'll hold off on that. It's the off season. You could do that. Let me take a look. If you were 618, I've been wondering where you are. I want to hear from you, man. It's good to see you on here, 618. I was honestly thinking about you. All right, I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. We'll do our callers, and then we'll do Always Annoyed, and that'll probably be it. I'll probably save that other segment about the program, and we'll see if you guys agree or disagree. Oh, I'll tell you what. Man, this is high quality TV and radio, what I got going on down here. 415, start us off. If you're on hold, you are going to be on the air. What's going on, brother?
Good morning, John. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. For better or worse, I'm starting to get my energy back, if nobody could tell. And it just feels good to feel a little better. Hey, what's in your mind, man? Did you see these press conferences from the assistants? Did anything stand out for you about that? Any thoughts on losing this Caleb Davis from the recruiting operation? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I did watch it, and that was completely on my mind because the first thing I thought of was more about the about the Ash interview and like what he was saying in particular words that he used that you and I were talking about just earlier that day on the morning show on Wednesday. And one of the words he used was enhance. He was you just mentioned the fact that he was saying, hey, if it's not broke, you don't try to fix it, right? And he was talking about enhancing the program and bolstering it forward. And that's exactly what we were talking about just earlier that day. And it just gave me a lot of, not hope, but it gave me a lot of ease in my mindset about what his mindset was coming into this program. So I'm high on it. I think that it was a great press conference. I really dug the fact that the way they talked about the program, the reasons why they were here, and what they wanted to do and how they were going to do it. And so I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's you know what it tells me? I thought the running back guy was a little more interpersonally engaging naturally. I just think that's his personality. I picked that up. But I really liked it's just when you have the anxiety Notre Dame fans have about Ash's resume and some of the red flags on it, I think it instills confidence to hear the guy get up there and be like, I understand how good this defense has been. We're not going to reinvent the wheel here because I showed up. That, I think, it was the one thing I was looking for from that guy, was some indicator of like an acknowledgement that we got it going pretty good here. And it's my job to be a caretaker of that and find ways to improve it. I keep mentioning the one thing I want to see is I want to know what his blitz philosophy is going to be in the moment, like against Miami on a 3rd and long with the game on the line. Like that is one thing, like the risk, how risk adverse or open to risk he is with the aggressiveness. That part I'm interested to see in practicality, no matter what he says when he's in those moments, what he dials up. So I don't know, man, but it was whatever. They did a good job. But I definitely did think the running back guy is a little more engaging.
Definitely, John. Of course. And you're going to have different personalities throughout everything. Not everybody's going to be as personal as Marcus Freeman, or as much as you want it to be.
Yeah.
And you're going to have these different kind of nuances and these different personalities coming through the program. And that's okay, because not everybody has to be the same. Not everybody has to be on the same high, or that same kind of like, hey, good to meet you. And it flows easy. But what we do need is for everybody to do their job. And this is just one of those ones where when you have somebody who's a little bit more, if you want to call them vanilla or just not as personable, you want to at least hear what they have to say so you get an idea about their mindset and their psychology and what they're thinking. Yeah. And the words that he was using and the way he was talking made me feel a lot better about it.
And let me ask this.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask this. What is the expectation of Ash on the recruiting trail? Does anybody have a good report on what kind of recruiter he is? Because that's a part of it too. And the personality is obviously linked to that. And so it's going to be interesting to see. But the do no harm philosophy, I appreciate it as a starting point.
Yeah. Well, so he was asked about like recruiting, I believe, if I can remember. And it was something to the effect of like, hey, it's changed. Like, it's not the same as what it was when he was here before and in college. And he kind of laughed about it. And because it's completely different. And so he's going to be learning on the go. But again, he'll be under the tutelage of all the coaching staff that's already been there and the ones that have dealt with the NIL and all these different things, as well as the fact that the general manager will be in there in the mix now, because that's a whole new ball game, right? Yeah. In the recruiting trail. So I think his personality might not come over as like, I don't know, the most engaging maybe to some of the recruits. But again, these recruits are going to look at the defensive coordinator, but they're also going to, for the most part, they're going to be looking at, who am I playing for? And we talked about this before. They're going to be playing for Marcus Freeman. They're going to be playing for Notre Dame. They're going to be playing for the fact that, that they're going to get a top-notch education. They're going to be, in the college football playoff mix. And not to mention, man, like, it's just a great culture, and you talked about how it was rated like #1 place to live, and that, or not live, excuse me, but work. And why not? Why not, with everything that's happened historically as well as what's happening currently?
Yeah, it's man, and I like that you use tutelage. Anybody that uses tutelage sounds fancy and smart to me. It's gonna be, it'll be interesting. But I don't know, man. I just, that defense is the one thing we can rely on, and I just want it to stay that way. Like, I just do. And then we're losing this recruiting director guy that's only 25. Like, I don't know what to make of that. Like, I don't know. Good for him for getting a promotion. What it changes for the dynamic of the recruiting operation, I'm still a little bit uncertain on what the exact structure and all that's going to look like under the new GM anyway. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that.
Honestly, I'm not concerned at all. And the reason why I'm not concerned at all is because for the last, whatever it's been since the championship game, there's been a lot of concerns that we've all had with all the moving pieces in this carousel of new coaches and now GMs and just all these different positions. This is the point where we have to have an acceptance of the fact that college football in its entire landscape has completely evolved. It's completely changed. And we will have revolving doors for the most part with a lot of different positions, because there's going to be so much more opportunity for all these different people to go to all these other different schools. Because now every school is seeing what is the blueprint for success. And they're seeing, hey, we got to get on the same page. We got to get a general manager. We got to get these directors. We got to get these, not just the head coach and the coordinators. And so with that, you're going to have a lot of moving pieces. And hey, that's actually a compliment. The fact that people want to be, taking people from our staff from Notre Dame is because of the fact that we have been successful.
Yeah.
So, that's the way I kind of see it. And again, it's not so much like, okay, well, it's another piece that's gone, but hey, I'm sure they're going to figure it out. They'll put somebody else into that mix. They will get somebody, up and running.
Yeah.
And this train is just going to keep rolling. We have way too much momentum now. We're steamrolling. We're moving forward.
Yeah.
And we're setting the bar, and I love it.
Yeah, that all makes sense as well. You know what else makes sense is the acknowledgement and the recognition by all of us how much the game has changed and how much movement there is in all of these cycles with these programs. And it's just, it doesn't matter who you are. No one is immune to it. And the better you are, the more likely it is. But it's just like we're getting more and more used to the mass movements of personnel and players. It's going to be really, really interesting. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for starting us off. You've been the all-star caller of the offseason. Anything else?
Yeah. I just wanted to really quickly just touch on, I don't know if you caught the Matt Rule, the head coach for Nebraska, was talking about the spring game cancellations and the reasons for it. And I know we talked about this a couple, shows back or whatnot, and what that means and why people are doing it. And his take was that it was due to the fact that he had a number of his players coming up to him after the last year's spring game where they were saying, hey, I'm getting a lot of phone calls and I'm getting a lot of, kind of like hype to go over to these other programs. And so that was one of the reasons why he decided, like, hey, why am I going to put my young talent out there that the other programs might not know about, but now can kind of look at and possibly, take from. And so to him, it was, I need to somehow shelter that and keep them at bay before they could just transfer out or go somewhere else because somebody else has now more NIL money, or they can, whatever, take them away. So with that, now you see with Texas, USC, like other programs are talking about canceling the spring game because of that. And then I tied it back into Notre Dame, and I'd really like to get your thoughts on this. As far as what we have here, I don't know if it necessarily is something that we have to be as concerned about. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like I said before, we're setting the bar, we're getting our program bolstered up. It seems like players are still sticking around for the most part. You're going to have some that transfer out, but for the most part, we have a lot that are sticking around. I mean, look at our quarterback situation.
I've been saying that
running
for a
back
while.
situation.
You're right. I've been saying it for a while, and I think a part of it has to do with how different Notre Dame is, choosing hard and all that kind of stuff. It takes a unique player to be interested to sign up for Notre Dame to begin with. And I do think that insulates you from some of the mass exodus and like huge turnover you have in some of these programs where the school isn't the main thing. I do think that helps insulate Notre Dame a little bit from some of that movement. I'm with you on that, my friend. Hey, I really appreciate you touching base, man. You're an all-star caller of the offseason. Thank you, man. Stick around, please.
Hey, John. Absolutely, my friend. It's a pleasure, and I will speak to you next week.
Have a good one, man. I love that dude. He's been calling every single day. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Mark with glasses. He's sick, but he's still putting himself in the game. Maybe. There we go. What's up, Mark?
Yeah, we'll see how my voice holds up. But I wanted to call in and talk about something nobody's talking about.
Yeah, you sound like crap, by the way. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I want to talk about the quarterback.
Tex ND writes, change your name to Mark with sinuses. I love
I'm
it.
pretty bad off over here.
Only because I can relate. I'm not making fun of you. I've been living this existence for like 3 weeks, Mark. It's not pretty. Advil cold and sinus is about the best that I could do. The problem with Advil cold and sinus, Mark, is it's not on the rack at the shelf. You got to stand in line at the pharmacy behind 94 people sicker than you are to get your thing to fix what you have, and you're going to catch what the 42 other people have in the line. I hate it. Anyway, sorry, I had to get that out.
Yeah, struggling. I actually fell asleep last night at work for the second time in my working history. So hopefully I feel better this weekend.
That's rough.
So going back with Freeman's history of quarterbacks at Notre Dame, he had Drew Pine and Tyler Buckner both transfer out. And in both of those instances, it felt like everybody assumed that there was kind of the difficult talks, and they made them aware where they were going to fit in. And
yeah,
so I feel like it's like looking at those two instances, and now today in the day and age where the players are so empowered, and the portal's only open for a week or so, the end of April. So after that, there's no wiggle room. And I feel like kind of because of all that, Freeman's a straight shooter. He's going to tell all the quarterbacks what's what. So, with Angeli, this is going to be Angeli's fourth spring game, Minchie's third, and Carr's second. And I think, this is the first time we've had a offensive coordinator make it to year 2. All these 3 guys have been around. They kind of know what they have.
That's a good point.
But I think it's safe to assume that at least one of these guys is going to feel slighted and transfer out. I just have to imagine that, with, specifically Angeli and Minchie, as good as guys as everyone claims they are to be, I still think that's the most likely outcome, is one of those 2 guys leaving, unless they are named a starter.
I don't know, man. I just keep hearing all these guys love Notre Dame. Every time I ask about it or it comes up, I am told all those guys love Notre Dame. Now, again, things behind the scenes could be very different. People could, feel a different way than they present, or the dynamics that emerge in spring ball could put the writing on the wall to where a guy makes a move. I don't know what to make of it, but I keep hearing all these guys love Notre Dame. But if you don't feel like you get a fair shot in this cycle, does that change? I don't know. And the other question mark is, does the Notre Dame staff have to think of that and accommodate to that? Like in the way that they structure spring to keep everyone engaged and feeling interested and valued and all this stuff. I just don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how much they should worry about it. I have no idea.
Yeah, I just think that now you have to be transparent, because if they string these guys along, if any school does it, any coach, you could get, a disgruntled player, or that kind of sets the precedent going forward. So I just think that, maybe even before the spring game, they kind of have those meetings, because these guys have been around for so long. They have to know who they're leading.
Yeah, and you are right. Freeman being so direct and being a straight shooter is a big deal. He could manipulate things if he wanted to, play some games with stuff or beat around the bush. His directness to have these meetings and go to a guy, dude, we all kind of know where this is headed. You're probably not going to play. I kind of need that scholarship. If you want to go somewhere else and play, I don't blame you. Freeman has been known for having some very uncomfortable but direct, truthful, and honest conversations with a lot of these guys over the years. And I respect that, because it's easy to go the other way. I respect it.
Yeah, and I think it'll go a long way. I wouldn't have any ill will towards any of these guys if, should they leave. But, I never thought Tyler Buckner would have left. I kind of thought he had a more realistic kind of thought of himself as far as like motivations to get playing time or whatever. So when he left after the spring game, he won the Gator Bowl. They brought in Hartman, and then they had 2 quarterbacks transfer out in like 2 months. And, and I think Stephen Jelly is another example of that. Like, nobody can imagine him leaving, but I think he's going to leave if he doesn't get the job. And then,
man, wouldn't that be interesting,
thing.
Mark? If he leaves, what makes that interesting to me is if he did that, you have no safety valve whatsoever of like a default safe option, a guy at a minimal level that can contribute and operate the offense. Like Angeli's your little kind of safety blanket, high floor, low ceiling kind of concept. And if he leaves, this whole program's handed over to those young guys, and they got to deliver. And that is exciting and risky at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's how kind of everybody thinks. But, like other schools deal with this all the time and never have a problem. This whole inexperienced quarterback thing. And, under Kelly, we were like young, anytime a young player got in, it was like an oasis, just so. And then one other thing, to this running back stable talk with Jeremiah Love, nobody had a problem that quarterback had 184 carries last year. He had like way more than our running backs, and being so quarterback run reliant all the damn time. And it seems like this new running back coach kind of gets it. He was kind of saying like, have the best players on the field for when it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And I hate that, and I think I told you I kind of gave up on my dissertation, but I was kind of going to that, like kind of like a wins over replacement type thing with between the 2 running backs. I was looking for kind of like how they were overly rotated. And I think I told you the first 3 games, they score with Love in the backfield, and then they rotate to Price, and we went 3 and out. And then I started looking at throughout the remaining regular season, it was more kind of infrequent of when it happened, but, it still remained the same with, having more success with him in the game. But
yeah, it's going to be really. No, I like where you are headed, and I like when you send me the bullet points. And let's just see. There's a fine line there of wanting to like highlight Jeremiah Love as the star and the stud and the physical outlier in the whole team, but you can't overdo it. And then it's just there's got to be like a perfect use range somewhere there, threading that needle to diversify, keep everybody happy, but also maximize, Love's contributions here. There's got to be a way. And so I'm with you. I like the dissertation. I think you should continue the research on it.
Yeah, he just needs to be featured, and whether that's motioning out of the backfield, but the defense having an account for him on the field definitely makes an impact.
Yeah, it's it's going to be really, really interesting to see it. It's never a dull moment, Mark. Hey, I hope you feel better, man. Take it easy over the weekend, man. Drink some Gatorades and lay around. I don't know.
You're not going to ask me if I have anything on the way out?
Yeah, well, I didn't get there yet. What do you got on the way out?
Just wanted to say you're killing it over there on Patreon, and all the new stuff that you're rolling out sounds really exciting, and I can't wait for all that stuff.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. It's we're going to come up with some new stuff in the off season here. We're going to get into spring ball and there'll actually be football to talk about, but we have some fun stuff kind of off the grid we're going to get to on Patreon, man. Really do appreciate all your support year round. And I really hope you feel better, man.
All right. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, buddy. We'll see you in a few weeks at the Blue and Gold. Blue and Gold. Mark with Kroger beef. Just Mark with congestion. Mark with an IV. Mark on the way out. 618. What's up, man? It's been a while. What's going on?
Hey, how you been, man?
I'm good, dude. I literally was thinking about you the other day. I was thinking about the off-season calls, and I'm like, man, I need to hear from my guy 618. It's been since January 9th since we've connected. What's going on? I hope you're doing well, enjoying the relaxing off-season here, and I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, man. I'm just waiting on, man, to see this quarterback battle, man. You know the guy who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for the guy that ain't nobody talking about, man, which is Minchie. It's like, seems like nobody want to give Minchie an opportunity, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He seems like the one that's fallen through the cracks because Carr has that last name and all the fanfare where he committed, when he committed, and that was a big deal. And Jelly's the in-house Notre Dame guy that everybody rallies around. Great kid, loyal to the program. And then where does Kenny fit in, man? He's like the forgotten man. Is it incumbent on him to force himself into this somehow? Because it just feels like he's fallen through the cracks, man.
Yeah, I just never thought Angeli was the one, man. I mean, I think both of the younger guys, they got, well, Minchie and Carr, I think they got more talent than what Angeli got. And then, it's probably time to tell Angeli, look, man, if you don't win this in the spring, man, you need to move on and hurry up and try to go get you a start. You got 2 years left, man. Try to go somewhere and try to see if you win a starting spot during the fall. But I really think that, man, I'm hoping that Minchie push this, man, and make them push it to the fall. Man, don't let them name Carr the starter in the spring.
Yeah, dude, that's a big question I have is this going to drag into August camp, or are you going to know after spring? I have a pretty good idea how this is going to go. I don't know how that's going to play out, whether it runs into August or not. I have no idea. Or do you think somebody's going to emerge and it's going to be obvious? I just don't know how this is going to go. It's very interesting.
Yeah, the ideal is the ideal thing is to not have it drag into the fall. But, man, if it's Minchie, man, you probably got to drag it into the fall and be so good during the spring that they can be like, man, I don't know, maybe, just maybe, man, we need to take this into the fall with Minchie and Carr. And somehow, man, because I know Minchie can, he's not a Riley Leonard as running the ball, but, man, we know he can run the ball, especially what we seen last spring at the spring game.
Yeah, man, I don't know, but you got to get this right. And the other thing I think about, man, is you have no leeway. Your first game is at Miami and your second game is A&M. Like you do not have a ramp or a runway here to be able to ease into this scenario. You need to, you got to have this going on, and that O-line's got to support that young quarterback early.
Yeah, and the good thing about the Miami and A&M game that you got to buy in between Miami and A&M. So, if it drags on into the fall, I guess you play and Minchie somehow make them drag it into the fall, and it'd be like, oh man, you basically probably got to play both Minchie and Carr in that first game. I don't have a lot of faith in Miami, man. I mean, that defense was terrible last year, man. They might got better. They doing everything in the portal.
Yet their quarterback's getting his cars stolen already. Didn't take long in Miami, and his cars are stolen already. How are you going to do that to your new starting quarterback, man? Roll up to his house and steal the guy's cars. Come on, man. That's bad. That's like, way, welcome to town. This is our new quarterback. Let's go rob him.
And then, like, man, we got to see how this defense going to be, because now we got the new DC, man, and when they hired him, it was a lot of bad things that was, nobody really wanted him. But my thing is like this, man, let's just, a lot of us, when Marcus Freeman hired Golden, a lot of us was like, man, what the hell is he doing? This dude ain't been defensive coordinator in ages, in a decade, and over a decade, but it worked out,
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be the same thing.
Whew.
And maybe Marcus Freeman basically be running helping them run the defense and getting him away from that offense, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, man, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting moving parts here and pieces that have to slot in and fit in. And it's just going to be interesting to see. There's never a dull moment. That schedule is front loaded as can be. You got to make some hay early. So I don't know, man. It's going to be wild. Anything else? It's so good to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that, man, that man, maybe the young guys will step up and we have the best. We might have one of the best secondaries in the country, and then that defensive line, man, we gotta let them loose this year.
Yeah, and man, if you had good health there, it'd go a long way to helping as well. Still some questions on the interior, that D line for me. But if you could get all those guys back healthy, it would help out a lot. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for calling. I missed you.
That was it, my man.
Oh, man, have a good weekend, and keep in touch here as we get into blue and gold and get into spring ball, okay? It's good to hear.
Definitely, man. It's that time of the year, man.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you, man. Everybody needed a break, though. I get it. Thanks a lot. That guy's great, man. He has called more than anybody else in the history of this show. There's like a running counter of how many times people called. John, what do you think of the college games averaging 3.5 hours, but there's less plays? The only thing I watch on live TV is basically football. I don't watch any like TV shows or whatever where I'm sitting through commercials. It's just if it's what you love, you don't mind the games being that long, right? The NFL window, those games are like 3 hours on the dot almost usually, and they keep it moving. You could stretch yours out to almost 4 in the college game, but like if it's what you like, I guess you don't mind watching it for longer. It's a lot better at home when the game goes long than when you're at the game and there's a 9-minute NBC timeout and that girl's yelling at you for some unknown reason. That girl's yelling at you during the timeout. Yeah. Lady, we're playing Central Michigan. Just sit down. She's yelling. Jeez. No one needs that. And if you need it, it can't be that voice, that girl yelling at you. Unbelievable. Donnie, what's going on, Donnie? Good morning, brother.
Morning, John. How are you?
I'm doing very well. What's going on, man?
Oh, just driving down to Dallas.
Driving down to Dallas. Hey, Donnie, I got to tell you, man, I'm excited to see what comes next for this Notre Dame team, man. Are they going to be able to build off the success of 24, or are they going to stagnate or regress, man? These are big-time questions.
Well, I think it all is going to stem with the quarterback. And, I know you're not a big Angeli fan because you saw him in garbage time making – what do you make, 5 touchdowns last year? He threw for 5 touchdowns, but they were in garbage time fourth quarter. But, you know my story with Angeli and what I think of him and why he's there. But I hope they start Angeli. I think he gives us the best, unless Carr really shines. I don't know if Minchie is going to, make it in there. But I agree with Goldsby. I don't think anybody's going anywhere. Maybe Angeli might if he gets replaced. I don't know. But, what we got coming back, John, and, if it's true what Ash said, he's not going to mess with the defense. I think we may lose one next year.
Man, that'd be a good run. It's all about that early part of the schedule, Donnie. Everything is so front loaded. All of Notre Dame's big matchups are before that, like the mid of the year point. And you just got to be in good position by then to be able to put it all together down the stretch. It's a big-time front-loaded schedule.
Oh, it could be over by, like you said, Halloween. We could be,
Yeah. Hey,
So
you can. Hey, Donnie, if you mess around early in the year, you could start out 0-2 and you're in a really, really bad spot. Like if things go truly terrible for you, you're in a bad spot before your third game.
Yeah, but here's what last year proved to us, John. You had that bad loss, earlier in the season, and lost one more. I don't think they would have made the playoffs. So, Freeman and the team plays well under pressure. I don't want them to have to play like that,
That's true.
obviously. But
yeah,
if anything, he's proven when the pressure's on, he can still get the job done.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Freeman did. Man, he got that team to play well under some very stressful circumstances, and that is not an easy thing to do. And he was able to do it. So I don't know, man. It's going to be really, really interesting. Anything stand out to you about the new coordinator speaking? Worried you're losing that recruiting guy? Any of that register to you, or do you think it's all just typical off-season stuff that comes and goes?
Well, anytime there's little hurdles you have to go over, it takes away from your main focus, So I'd like to see him get that done. And I asked if he says he's going to keep, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Hey, I'm all on board with that. If he wants to run, Golden's defense like he did, I mean that's kind of what. What was the name? The coordinator we had 2 years ago. He kind of took over what Tommy Reese was doing. Ran the same offense. So if we can run the same defense, I think that'd be pretty awesome because we've proven our defense can keep us in game.
Yeah, yep, you're right. I like the do no harm mantra there. I really do. And so I don't know, man. I just think spring's going to be a really interesting time around Notre Dame, and that quarterback thing, not having like a surefire guy ahead of the pack the way Leonard and Hartman naturally were because of the way they came to Notre Dame. It's going to be really interesting, man. There's a lot to watch. And these are big decisions.
Well, even, and I'm not, I think this year we're going to have a true quarterback competition, John, not like the last 2 years we were fed. There was a quarterback competition. There was no competition. Not when you're paying a guy $1 million plus to come in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't care what they say. The writing was on the wall with that money. You just got to kind of follow the cash flow. So I don't know, man. It's going to be really interesting. There's a lot of moving parts. I want to see how Freeman pieces it all together to put together back-to-back years to prove last year wasn't just some cute fluke.
Well, John, 30 years we didn't win anything major. And in 2 weeks we win 2 major bowls and a playoff game.
Yeah.
And then make it to the championship, the title game. And I don't know if they make it to the title game next year and they lose. I still don't think they're going to be dogged too bad because, when Clemson and Georgia went on their runs, it took them a few years to get it going. It took Kirby Smart, 7 years to get there to the title game?
It would make no sense for Notre Dame to get dogged. That would mean you won 6 playoff games in 2 years and made it to the championship back-to-back years. Do you know, what that says about your program would be big time. I really don't think Notre Dame would get ripped for it, man. 6 playoff wins in 2 years would be an unbelievable accomplishment, even though we'd be frustrated.
Well, you're going to have a handful of people that's going to, give them shade, and they don't deserve it. If that scenario happens, I don't think they, deserve it. But, you're always going to have a handful of people out there. I mean, heck, look at what Cam Newton was saying about Notre Dame with their run, I mean, 30 years we haven't been there, and we finally got a little run. You're going to give them all that shade, throw all that shade their way? I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah. It's, man, so I don't know, Donnie. There's never a dull moment in Notre Dame land, and this next spring cycle and then into August camp's going to be really interesting. Anything else, my friend? Safe travels down south.
Well, appreciate that, and just can't wait for blue and gold. Have your little tailgate and rub elbows with everybody, and hope everybody has a blessed day and lunch right around the corner. Hope everybody has a great Lent. And go Irish.
Go Irish. Safe travels, Donnie. We'll be in touch, buddy. Thank you. 716, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
Hey, John, long time not speak to you. How
Yeah,
you doing?
long time, man. Everybody needs a little break after the intense stress and excitement of the last year. What's on your mind, man, since this season? And lots change in Notre Dame land. What's top of mind?
Well, I have called a few times. You haven't got to me, which is no problem because I've been listening on and off. I'm interested in listening to the interviews. Been going through some stuff. I was supposed to have reverse replacement shoulder surgery on my left shoulder. It was scheduled for 11th of February. And on the 7th of February, shoveling my driveway, I fell. I fell on my right shoulder. Now they got to do that first before they do the left one.
Jeez, man. I'm sorry. Good luck with all that.
Yeah.
Good luck with all that.
Listen, I've gone through this. I've had several shoulder surgeries from playing sports, but I didn't get a chance to. I just want to touch on this real quick. On the first part that I wanted to tell you, back on, I think it was the 10th of this month, your last caller on that Monday was the guy I call the Energizer Bunny. He was calling from work, and he couldn't talk too long. But the point he made was excellent. Leave Brian Kelly in the past. This team is about the future. Any talks, any chats about Brian Kelly, forget about it. The guy's gone. We want to reflect on the positive things from the past, and we want to look to the future with this team, not in the rearview mirror. That's gone. So I really loved it when he made that comment. But a couple of things I wanted to touch on about the championship game. I didn't think the officiating was perfect, but I thought they were the best crew we had, especially in the back end. The other thing I wanted to talk, and what I mean is calling the penalties in the defensive backfield, especially on Ohio State. I mean, they showed me that they were nonpartisan. They were going to call what they saw. My biggest concerns with that game were when Christian Gray was pointing the finger and trying to tell them that something was wrong. I'm really wondering, when we have to have somebody in the booth, even though our coordinators are on the ground, somebody in the booth had to see him doing that and realizing something's going on because the announcers picked up on it. How did they miss that? And that might have saved us a touchdown, possibly in that scenario. The other thing was, I thought Golden was going to learn something from the Penn State game, and that was backside contain. And Ohio State seemed to crush us on that, on backside contain.
Yeah.
We just never had anybody there. And I'm thinking, listen,
some of it is you got to tip your cap to Chip Kelly. He seemed to dial up at the exact right times, the exact right plays to be able to expose Notre Dame. And he did a really good job. And so we needed to do better, but I got to give that guy credit. He dialed up some perfect things at the exact right times and caught us.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's not dumb. Kelly's not dumb. He wouldn't have been in all the positions he's in if he was dumb. And now we're talking about,
and they had the athletes to do it too. And they had the athletes to do it too. So it's just, good job by Chip Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing, here's what really concerned me. And I mean, this was a big concern. I'm looking at Denbrock, and you're paid this millions of dollars to be this top coordinator. Did you not learn anything from the first drive? You ran at them. You crushed them on the run. Now's the time to pass. We knew Ohio State's defensive backfield was their liability. It was their Achilles heel, evidenced by the fact we didn't wait till halfway through the third quarter to try pass. And the first three passes we throw, we get 2 interference penalties on them. Why did he wait so long? That's the time to come out on that second drive, start throwing some passes. They're going to say, we got to back off a little bit. And if they're not backing off, throw the passes. And Leonard seemed to get better as the game went on in his passing, and throw the passes, and that'll loosen up what's in the box. Now you can run. I was just really disappointed in Denbrock not doing that earlier, because we've seen when we started to pass, we started to mount a comeback. And it's just unfortunate that those things happen that way, that we couldn't make that full comeback. I wanted to touch a little bit too on the wide receiver Smith from Ohio State. I thought the build-up here and the way they talked about this kid, and I'm not saying he doesn't have the physical tools, but I thought we were going to see the second coming of Randy Moss, a guy that takes control of the game. He scored the first touchdown on a pass you and I could have caught because we got confused once again, like I pointed out, with that backside stuff. He ran back in the backfield, then he went out for a pass. And they caught us flat-footed. And that was the play that he was pointing the finger about where were we at on defense. The second one was when the DB went back, and they've always taught you as a DB, you never turn your head to the play. You always swivel your hips. That's why BMO had to have surgery on the hips, because he couldn't swivel them anymore for defense. You swivel your hips.
Yeah,
you don't swivel your head.
It's Happy Gilmore. Yeah. It's all in the hips. Yeah, it's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips, man. It's all in the hips, and you swivel your hips, not your head.
Except I don't want you swinging your hips. I don't need anything. I don't need you needing another surgery. Okay, yeah. So you keep your hips in one spot, brother.
When I went in to talk to the doctor yesterday, we had to drive from Olean to Buffalo, which is, I'm used to this for stuff. But anyways, we got in there, and the first thing the doctor says to me when he comes in, goes, "What are you doing, falling apart on me?" I said, "Doc, I'm not trying to."
Yeah, it's just some bad timing, some bad timing and circumstance there.
So anyways, that's all the things I wanted to talk on about that, and a couple of and look to the future for this team. Yeah, they have a great future.
I like that, man, and I really do want to think that this 24 experience is a step on the journey upward and onward, and not the top of the hill. And that's what Freeman needs to prove next. The big mission for him is show this wasn't a flash in the pan. One good year, you caught a good lineup in the playoff or whatever, good run of opponents. Like, you need to show you could stack some consistent high-level years.
Oh, yeah. Now, some of the comments that they made this morning, somebody had talked about, them joining the Big Ten. My wife wasn't with me because she doesn't really get into the XM radio. Like if I'm listening to something on ESPN or something like that, I just happened to, it was just set on there for something the night before when I went and got some gas, but I was in the car alone and I caught a catch from Feinbaum, and some person had called in about how they thought the Big Ten and the SEC came to the table and said, this is the way it's going to be. Well, this is what's ruined college football. You can't have entities like that. They're going to control it because it's all about the money. But that's a shame that's ruined college football, where you can have two conferences like that saying this is how the playoffs are going to run. And we'll see how that works out. One of the things I'm also interested in is this past January, and I haven't researched it lately, there was going to be a rule that was going to be taken on by the NCAA in regards to once a kid signs on the dotted line, you can't call him, you can't contact him from another school. That's it. It's done. It's through. If you do, you're going to be penalized. So I don't know if that ever went through or not.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I feel like the way around that is you don't do it officially, but you have somebody unofficial reach out to somebody's entourage. And I think if you want to tamper, you'll find a way to tamper no matter what the rules are. Just like caps on NIL they're talking about. All that means is the amount to the cap is public and the rest of it's old school, a bag under granny's front porch. It's been done for 50 years. So I just think there's always going to be a way. Todd, I got to get going a little earlier today. Anything on the way out, man? It's really good to hear from you, and I wish you the best with all this medical stuff. I don't mean to laugh at it, man. I want you to heal. I want you to heal up, brother. I need them shoulders good so you can fist pump for the Irish.
Yeah, listen, my bucket list includes going to a blue and gold game, and I can't. But this year I really planned on it, and then this happened. But two things real quick. Matt Rule and the people canceling their spring game.
Yeah.
Here's how I look at it. If you recruit the right way, Notre Dame, Freeman, they're more interested in these kids turning them into men and giving them something in the future, rather than a football factory. And that's a big difference, especially with parents. When you're concerned about their kids 40 years down the road, parents take notice of that. And the last thing is, the two things you were talking about with Hackman and his wife, and you were talking about you need somebody to solve this.
Yeah.
Either you go back, I don't know if you ever watched Monk. Monk was a crazy thing where he could figure things out. And there's a new one on TV now, and it's on ABC. It's called High Potential. You need somebody like her to figure
I've
them out.
seen
But
that.
yeah, it's really strange.
I've seen
it's
that.
really strange because a front door open and the people laying there, and you're in New Mexico. I don't know what the temperature was in Santa Fe, but what would you have on in something that would go out that would cause carbon monoxide?
It's
there weren't
really
any cars
weird.
running.
Yeah,
the doors were open. It is.
It's very,
listen,
very
you
odd.
take care.
Hey, Todd, good luck,
I got
man.
something for you too for
Good
your
luck.
medication.
Oh yeah, what is it?
There's a place called All Family Pharma. So it's All Family PHARMA.com. You go there, and I don't know if you ever heard about ivermectin or oxychloroquine, but you can get those there, or anything that you think is going to help you more than what the doctors are giving you.
Interesting. Look at you with the little workaround there. Hey man, get healed up, get your strength back, get all cleaned up, and then have the off season to get everything going so you're good to go for the regular season. And then the next year, don't fall and come to the Blue and Gold tailgate and meet me instead, okay?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'll talk to you later because I got to figure out how to subscribe. So I'll give you a call later sometime.
There you go.
Take care, John, and have a blessed weekend.
Oh, you too. Take care, man. I hope. Man, that sucks. That sucks. Man, that guy. You never know where he's going. All right, one nose blow, and then we're doing Always Annoyed, and then I got a date with Goolsby at 10:30. There's a few more people on a hold. I'm just not going to be able to do it today. I'm on like a tight timeline trying to get Mike on a Friday, technically a work day. So one more nose blow and we'll do the Always Annoyed and we'll get out of here. Oh boy. These people are out of their minds. I think I've seen Shrek because my daughter watches it. It reminds me of Andre the Giant for some reason. All right. Here we go. So, Johnny Boy's back right tire has been leaking air. Okay? Since the championship game week, the back right tire's leaking air. I put air in it and it just kind of goes flat over time. The colder it is, the worse it is, whatever. Anyways, I've been putting off going in and getting this tire fixed or looked at. I don't know what's wrong with it. I ain't no mechanic. So I go to the tire place right when it opens. They got a big lobby. I'm the first one there. You got to understand, I don't like crowds. I don't like people. I don't like traffic. I don't like John Q. Public. I only like my people. So I avoid people in crowds whenever possible. I get there early, so I am the only one in the lobby. Nice big lobby, and it's comfortable, good leather seats in there, and I'm the only guy. I love it. For a few minutes, I'm the only guy in there, nobody bugging me. Then some guy comes in, big guy. Work boots, real tall, big old gut on him, a big boy. He comes in, does something at the front desk. He sits a couple chairs down from me, gets a phone call, puts it on speaker, and he's talking, he's yelling, but he went, yeah, I don't know, man, maybe about 2 truckloads, and then I need you to go to the next job, and I need you to pick up the paperwork, and I hear things beeping in the background, beep, beep, beep. He's at some construction site. This guy's on speakerphone, 2 chairs for me, yelling, I don't know, man, 2 truckloads, drop them off, and then I need you to tell Bill what you need to do over there. Why are you doing this on speakerphone in public? I don't understand why you need speakerphone for this project. Why Or why do you think that's appropriate in a public space that everybody needs to hear both sides of your stupid conversation? Then he gets off the call, and I'm thinking, thank God, because I'm not going to sit here for an hour and listen to this. Thank God this guy is done. Then he opens up YouTube, and he watches Family Guy reruns on speaker again. Totally on blast on speaker. And I'll never forget it. He goes up to they got a vending machine, and he gets some chips. You guys, he's watching Family Guy on full speaker, gets these chips. I'm not kidding you. He turns sideways, puts one of his oversized legs around another chair that's open. The guy leans back watching Family Guy on full blast with his big hoof and tree trunk leg over the other chair with his chips on his chest eating. What are you doing? We're in public. This dude acted like he's just in his basement chilling in John's basement. Completely inappropriate. So I am staring at this guy, totally enraged and mortified. I'm staring daggers at this guy. I just can't believe this is what you're doing in public. I'm staring at this guy that's made this entire place's lobby his freaking hangout zone. While I'm I'm not done. Oh, I ain't done. While I'm looking at this dude in complete disgust, to my left, some older lady sits down a couple chairs to my right. So I am it's just me and this guy at first, and I am completely mortified staring at this guy, breaking every social norm of decorum there's ever been. He's to my left. Then this older lady sits down a couple chairs to my right. She doesn't get it. I am distracted by him. I'm so upset by his behavior in public. I almost don't even notice that she scooted in and sat a couple spots to my right. She doesn't get a call. She makes a call. Right when she sits down, she makes a call, and I hear her say, "Oh, I can't hear you, Tina. Let me put you on speakerphone." So I got this guy over here making it his man cave, blasting Family Guy on YouTube, crunching his Doritos. Then I got her, "Oh, I can't hear you, Tina. Let me put you on speaker." She says to this lady on speaker, you guys, I can't make this up. On speaker, she says to this lady, it's on full blast. She's yelling, "Yeah, my daughter-in-law's sleeping with everybody in town, and she's trying to take my grandkids from my son. And I don't think it's going down like that. I think I'm going to post on Facebook everybody she's been with and air out all the dirty laundry." I know she's yelling this stuff. "Tina, what do you think I should do? I know she's got sugar daddies. I'm going to expose it all." What do you... This lady's and then her friend Tina, "Oh my God, that's so bad. What are you going to do?" She says, "All she does is drink and snort pills and sleep around town. But she acts like my son's the bad parent. Can you believe it, Tina? What do you think?" They're having this discussion. I'm sitting between these two uncivilized Muppets, and I can't believe this is where we're at in society. You have no public decency. You have no self-awareness. Were you raised with no manners? Were you raised with no manners? This lady's unbelievable. "Oh, I'm going to expose it all on Facebook, honey. Everybody's going to find out she's been sleeping around town, but my son's the bad one." What are you doing? This is private stuff. These are not public discussions. Why are these people Why do they think I want to hear all their crap? You can't have a civilized society when people act like this in public. This was a full-on assault of all of my social sensibilities. I swear by this, you guys. I swear. Once we came out of the virus lockdown, everybody forgot how to act in public. Everybody was trapped in their pajamas for 2 years and never had to go out or interact or anything. And everybody forgot how to act. And they all came out, forgot how to act. And it's me, now, free, son of a buck. People are way too comfortable being way too comfortable these days, and it's bad for society. It's bad for society. We went from people wearing suits to go to the grocery store to people wearing pajamas in public as an outfit. There is no social awareness. Unbelievable. I don't even want to hear my own phone conversations. What makes these people think everybody wants to hear all of their drama? This guy just I don't know, they'll bring another truckload over there. I hear a bunch of beeps. He kicks his legs up and makes himself comfortable. And this lady and her friend Tina scheming against the sleazy daughter-in-law. This isn't all for public consumption. Get a grip. Be aware. There's just no social decorum. I can't handle people. And if you just think about how dumb the average person is, half of them are dumber than that. Jeezy, Pete's. It's too much. People don't know how to act. This speakerphone stuff in public is the ultimate insult to everybody else's time and intelligence and life. You are not that important. Nobody cares about your stuff. Everybody's got to hear about it. You cannot have a civilized society when people act like this. You can't. These people need to wake up. All right, that's it. That's my always annoyed. 2 of them in the same lobby. Both of them with no social decorum, no social awareness at all. No shame. No shame. They didn't even have an inclination. When I'm shooting daggers out of my eyeballs, one to her and one to him, I'm shooting daggers at these people. No idea. Just totally oblivious. It was like we were in their living room. It's not okay. It's not okay. We need to go back to like 80 years ago when people wore suits to go put a letter in the mail. People knew how to act. This is just wrong. It's wrong. These people are out of their minds. They have no social decency, and I ain't here for it. All right. That's all I got. That's my always annoyed. But I'm bringing it back. I got a list. Every Friday, we're going to do an always annoyed because I got a list backed up and built up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for donating. Thanks for calling. I love you guys. I'm going to talk to Mike now. See ya.